How's it going? It's your boy JB, and we are back. Another episode of the FATLAD Files. So, brand new patch again. It is version 1.2.0. Look, I'm not going to go through all of this. It's going to be a very quick video, but there are some notable things. Attacking, by the looks of it, has got nerfed and buffed at the same time. Slightly increased frequency of AI teammate attack and runs, which is great. We need that, given that inside forward doesn't work as well as it should work. Let's be honest. Wingers could have sometimes dropped back during attacks. Yep, definitely. You would see them coming back. I just thought that was like a part of the tactics. Improved through ball passing, crossing to better respect your aim input. As someone who plays semi on passing, it definitely, you definitely need the extra support there. So very, very pleased with that. The only nerf just is the accuracy of acrobatic shots taken right after a flick. So people like this flick meta where they flick the ball up to take a pass and then bang, top corner. So I get why that's there, to be fair. Slightly reduced how tightly AI defenders will mark your pass receivers on the edge of their box. Fine. Improved defensive man marking during short corners. So this supposedly will fix the short corner glitch. I can tell you based on gameplay that I saw last night, it doesn't. I was still able to do it, no problem. Last night, easily enough. Goalkeepers, they buffed? Yeah, they are indeed. Yeah, especially on diving on balls. Truth is, goalkeepers are too buffed at the minute, in my opinion at least. But just generally, defense in general is too buffed at the minute. It's very, very difficult to play and score. Actually, again, I think they're trying to reduce the scoring again, which is annoying. Let's see, where is the one that I wanted to talk about? Correctly bouncing off. Yep, that's right. Calling a teammate short player could have become unresponsive. This isn't really what I'm looking for. There's improved referee logic when calling fouls for physical contact from behind. So the biggest problem that we've seen over the last couple of years has been tackling through the back and no fouls being called. I'll be interested to see whether they fix this. They fixed it last year. It worked much, much better last year. Obviously, they've gone back to a previous, code base, which is why it's back in the game again. But this one, I think, is the one that needs the most improvement out of all the different things. Not so much the AI defending, just referees in general calling fouls, but specifically for this particular issue. So I think that is a very good change, but again, it might be a minute change compared to a large change, because in playing last night, it was still getting tackled through the back. So, there's no absolute guarantee that one's fixed. Rare situations, the ball character would not perform a requested shot. I just find that with inputs in general, especially passing inputs. So for Ultimate Team, added ability to view available evolutions for selected player items. So what that basically is, when you go on Footbin, and Footbin will show you an evolution chain, and you can chain those together. That's basically what that's for. Essentially, it's just allow you to do that in game to see if you happen to go to Footbin to do it. It'll still not be as good as Footbin, probably. Let's be honest. So it'll still be good, but it'll go through a server release. So the last server release after the last update took 2 weeks. So it'll be within 2 weeks. One thing they did change that I absolutely love was the favoriting of the objectives. That's probably one of the best changes they've made in Donkeys. I haven't had a chance to be able to talk about it, but being able to see your objectives being completed in game, very much like you do in moments, where it pops up on screen while you're playing the game because it's favorited, is just absolutely brilliant. I really, really love it, to be honest with you. So there are a few issues, pack opening issues, facial issues, address instances of overlapping text, etc., etc. Nothing overly major kind of in that. It's just little UI changes and other bits and pieces. Obviously, there's stuff for clubs and there's stuff for career there. And then, is there anything else? No, nothing overly major. I suppose a lot of the talk really around the community today has been that there hasn't been much of a buff, there hasn't been too much of a change. Doesn't seem to be anybody reporting that there is a change. Obviously, we'll test it out and see what happens, but I think defending in itself needs to be reduced. We're getting very close to what FC25 was at the start of the game cycle, and that was the way I would explain FC25 to everybody is that it went from the worst game to the best game, and the reason why is because with the way that everything was set up and the AI was set up, terrible players meant for terrible matchups. But as you got throughout the year and got to footies, it was a brilliant gaming experience because those cards, those higher end cards, could work against that AI. Now the only problem became at the end of the year with footies is that everybody had the same team and you couldn't break anybody down because the AI was so strong. I don't really want to get back to that again. I want to have a more free-flowing game, and yes, the defending is hard. I find it hard as well as everybody else does, but I think if we can get back to the way that we used to play at the start of the year, but have just a better balance again, you know, go backwards rather than forwards, I think that the game will come back to the way that it is and the way that it should be. Because actually I really enjoyed it at the start of the year, even though I was getting hammered. But it was still a really good gameplay experience, right? Right now, it's not a great gameplay experience, and I think we need to go backwards rather than further forwards. But that's the patch notes. The patch is already live. I updated last night, played a few games just to test it out. So let me know in the comments if there's anything that you've noticed that has actually worked, so I can look for it myself when I'm testing. But I've been your boy JB. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new. See you all again very, very soon.